Hello and welcome to a new edition of the Daily Debate. I'm your host for tonight, Muhammad Abdul Rahim. The naval blockade or the naval siege, this is the newest development in the American-Israeli-Iranian war. The siege announced by US President Donald Trump after the Islamabad talks failed to yield a deal. The Iranian Revolutionary Guards Corps has warned that any siege against its ports or any further blockade of movement in the Strait of Hormuz or any approaching of its ships will be dealt with firmly. So far we haven't seen any incidents in the Strait of Hormuz, and in fact the flow in the Strait of Hormuz, at least according to the US President, is at the highest since the beginning of the war on January 28th. There are still possibilities that the two sides would meet again and would talk again, and the main mediators, the Pakistanis, are trying to hold a further round of talks in the Pakistani capital, Islamabad, and the two sides haven't really dismissed that possibility. Of course, also the Turkish mediators, the Egyptian mediators are also playing an important role in trying to bridge the gaps and get the parties to sit together again. So is this naval siege really designed for the purpose of escalating the situation and a return to full military hostilities, or is it a card, a negotiating card by Mr. Trump that aims to pressure the Iranians back into the negotiating table and to accept the conditions, specifically about the uranium, because the American president has said that the two sides had agreed on basically almost everything with the exception of the uranium enrichment, and there are reports that the Americans had proposed a 20-year suspension of uranium enrichment, while the Iranians had only offered a 10-year suspension or something. So it seems that the sides are not far apart, or at least that's what we believe, but no one knows what will happen in the upcoming period. By the way, the oil prices, after going above 100, 102, 105, that's the Brent and WTI respectively, they are now both under 100. Brent is at 98 as we speak in the final trading hour in the markets in the United States, and WTI is at 97. So seemingly the oil market, or at least the traders and the oil market, believe that maybe we will have some kind of a breakthrough. All of this is happening as Lebanon is still facing the Israeli aggressions, the daily Israeli aggressions, especially in southern Lebanon, although there is an agreement that Tuesday would witness the first direct talks between the two sides, the Lebanese and the Israeli sides in Washington. We'll be talking Hormuz, we'll be talking Lebanon, and a host of other issues with our dear distinguished guests with us here in the studio, Dr. Mungi Ali Badr, Minister Plenipotentiary and board member of the UN Association of Egypt. Thank you very much, Dr. Badr. Always a pleasure to have you with us.
Thank you very much for you, and my pleasure to congratulate my Egyptian people for Sham al-Nasim. And in the meantime, thank you very much for your very fruitful introduction about this tension between states, Israel from one side and Iran from another side. In fact, you touched the main items of this tension, and in the meantime you made my mission very easy.
Thank you, Dr. Badr. Thank you. And thank you for being here, and indeed happy Easter and happy Sham and Nasim. Dr. Badr, please allow us first to read our top stories of the night. Okay. And then we'll start our discussion.
With pleasure.
Thank you, Dr. Badr. His Excellency President Sisi has directed the government to fast-track family law bills to Parliament. The President has ordered the government to submit the long-delayed draft laws on family affairs to Parliament on Monday. The President instructed officials to fast-track legislation covering family matters, including separate legal frameworks for Muslim and Christian families and the establishment of a family support fund. The proposed laws aim to address gaps in the current system and introduce broader reforms to issues such as divorce, alimony and child custody. Officials say the drafts were prepared in consultation with religious institutions and legal experts. Proposals under discussion include creating a family support fund to ensure financial assistance and streamlining court procedures to reduce prolonged disputes. Egypt has been working for years on amendments to personal status legislation which governs family matters under a dual system based on religious affiliation. The draft laws have been shaped through the consultations with Al-Azhar, the Coptic Orthodox Church and legal experts in an effort to balance religious frameworks with constitutional requirements. And Egypt's First Lady has congratulated Egyptians on the occasion of Sham al-Nisim. First Lady Mrs. Intisar al-Sisi extended her congratulations to the Egyptian people on that occasion. Mrs. al-Sisi wrote on her official Facebook page, "On the occasion of Sham al-Nisim, I congratulate the people of Egypt, hoping that this day brings joy and happiness to all of you. May you all be very well this year and every year, and may Egypt always be in good and prosperity."